Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. There is no second best live YouTube stream to talk about the markets. Welcome back, guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We are closing in on the 25th. We hope you're having a great time, whether it's just detoxing from the market, spending time with friends, family, and enjoying some holiday cheer. But thank you for spending some of that time with us here at BB. We are going to do our best to cook for you guys today, talk about the charts and what the markets look like here as we head into the Christmas season and, of course, the end of the year. But I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy, joined by Louis, Max, potentially Chef Jackus as well later on today's show. But yeah, I hope, like I said, I hope everybody's having a great holiday season. Right now, the market, I think, is existing in a pretty binary spot, right? Are we bottomed? Are we not bottomed? Equities, after all, look phenomenal, and crypto still looks like it doesn't really know how to find its way. But we'll talk about what that means for the asset class going forward here and what we can potentially expect in the first quarter of next year. But before we can do that, guys, you know what I'm I'm obliged to ask you guys every single show. Let's run up the like button. I hope you're feeling a little bit generous this Christmas season. lend your like button to the channel. We're always very appreciative when you guys do that ultimately. And we're going to do our best to give you a gift this holiday season. I promise I'm not going to do puns throughout the entire show. I promise. But all right, guys, let's talk about the market. Open thus far has been green for the week. We kind of continue to waffle on the edge of a cliff as far as crypto goes. I almost feel like that's kind of best illustrated when we look at a chart like Solana that is sitting right at range lows for, I mean, how many times have we traded into this level on Sol in the past 18 months or like 2 years realistically? This might be the 10th time we've traded into the range lows on Sol, but Bitcoin still sitting at 80, 90K. ETH still sitting above 3K. Do we have further downside coming? Are we going to get a potential squeeze? One thing that I was discussing on the morning call today with our subscribers that I do want to discuss on today's show. I know I kind of differ from some other members of the team as far as this goes. You know, if I see, I think a prolonged bounce, that would almost be a point, right? In the same way, you know, I felt like that was the rhetoric when we were looking at a potential bounce in April, right? Everybody was saying, well, we're going to capitulate. And then we bounced. And everybody was kind of looking for, wait, what? What's funny? Can you guys hear me?
Soft rugging.
Oh, no.
Not hard rugging, but soft rugging.
I'm not surprised. I mean, like, the Wi-Fi here is just not good. It's not great, but that's also why I'm not on camera. I'm trying to see if that will prevent my Wi-Fi from going out. But all right, let me do my best to get this point across in the least ruggy way possible. If you guys remember in April, everybody I think was viewing that kind of similarly to how we're viewing right now, where if we got a bounce, we would get a shoulder kind of akin to what we saw in 2022. And right now I'm kind of thinking, all right, well, if we're taking the highs that we set in early December, that would to me feel like we're going to do the same thing again, and that maybe we're baiting shorts in for, you know, maybe the bottom is in that case. However, I think the flip side that you need to understand to that as well is that if it does not happen, right, if you don't get that bounce, the market's probably going to see some really accelerated downside lower. So I'm going to harp on it again. We're in this very binary juncture right now. I think mostly for crypto, but you'd have to imagine that the divergence between crypto and equities is not going to continue for that much longer. Something is going to have to give, and one is going to catch up to the other. We will find out what it is. We're going to discuss it on today's show. How are we doing, guys? How are we celebrating the Christmas season? And what are we seeing in the markets?
I'm basically partially already on the Christmas, especially with our newborn. My girlfriend being at home, she's just like waiting for me. She's like, when are you coming back? And I'm like, chill. Gotta hang out with the boys. Then I'm all yours. But yeah, preparing well, and markets just market. I actually went through the past, I believe, 5 Christmas times, and in the markets, and they've been mostly ranging, just doing nothing. So I think the market's kind of positioned for that. And then oftentimes than not, January 1st, it picks a direction. So we'll see if that's the case.
Yeah. I typed this in our morning Discord call towards the end because it seems as if there's many. It's like, we're bullish, we're going to Valhalla, Santa's gonna save us, and it's we're bearish, we're going down to 0. It's like, listen, look at where we are in the chart, right? We're in the middle of nowhere here. I really don't think, specifically crypto, like I really don't think it's the time to be like, I'm all max bullish or I'm max bearish. I think it's more of a time of wait and see what the market gives you, and then what confirmation it could possibly give you, and then kind of lean into that. We're in a precarious spot in the markets. We're kind of in no man's land here. So, with crypto, like alts have getting beaten, battered the last couple months, especially more recently. Bitcoin's down 36%, ETH is down 40 some odd percent. Equity's still chugging along. So like Tommy said, like something's got to give. Either there's a big catch-up trade to the downside in equities waiting to happen, or Bitcoin and crypto is going to bounce back in a meaningful way. But trying to position into that before you get any confirmation here, I think it's a little risky, and there's no need to be a hero. The time for that was when we were up here, right? Like as I was kind of like, listen, I was like, we're here, we're holding market structure. I'm looking for the bounce, continuation of high time frame structure. The second we lost this, trying to step into a weekly market structure breakdown that's just been sitting on a tiny bit of market structure here, either being max bear, looking for major downside, or even being max bulled up. I think both are kind of a little premature. I think just waiting for confirmation. I mean, like zoom in on this structure here. This is what we've been doing the last month, guys. Both sides have been getting chopped up, claiming victory here. This is the state of the market for the last month. So until we get a clear break, sustained price above 93, 94K, great. I think we have a chance to have a bigger squeeze to the upside, probably into the low 100K area, right? But if we don't, and we start to slide, the lows of our bottoming structure are definitely on the table, and potentially lower, right? So anywhere in the middle here, trying to step in and be a hero, I don't think is the best choice, especially going into a holiday weekend, right? Low volume, end of the year. I don't know. It's a tricky market. I think waiting for more confirmation is best case scenario here.
Wait, Louis, are you telling me that you're recommending people don't scalp from now through Christmas and New Year's?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, I mean, bro, there's generational scalps to be had. If you're on the 30-second time frame, I mean, you just 50R, 50R, 50R. I mean, my family can wait. I have generational wealth to obtain. That's my philosophy on it. But
Legend.
Yeah, legend.
I've had many of Christmases where I just stared at my phone the whole time. I'm not doing that this year.
Have you seen that old there's this old skit I remember, and like the guy's name in it was like Thurnis Haley or something. It might have been like a Tyler the Creator like skit. And he was playing this guy that was like obsessed with golf. It was like back in high school. He's like, I haven't seen my family in years. All I do is golf, It's like, I haven't seen my kid. Like, I missed my kid's choir concerts. It's like, been too busy golfing. Dude, that's me. Been too busy scalping this market for 50 hours, man. Haven't seen my kids in years. All I do is scalp, man. Holidays, I don't have time for that, man. I'm scalping. I'm scalping, man. I'm in the order books, man. I don't have time for Christmas. Come on, now.
Most crypto guys. Wait, you guys have kids?
Most crypto guys have never talked to a female, which is the crazy part. It's real.
You guys met a girlfriend like in the real world?
Dude, they're all like tough over the internet, and then like they're afraid to talk to a girl at a bar. It's like, man, sad.
Anyways,
All right. Well, anyways, no, I put out a tweet this weekend. I had a very surprising alert triggered this weekend. Actually, that Ethereum was starting to show some signs of strength at like 29.50 for me. I immediately got out of all short exposure, closed everything, which turned out to be a solid decision. But I'm interested to see what happens next year. I don't think we're going to have a ton of clarity until the end of the year. Like Jack had suggested, usually we wait until the open or a calendar rollover, and then we'll see maybe some shenanigans of fund managers trying to realize some gains for, crystallization purposes, and then also maybe people selling some stuff that's in profit after the first of the year so they can kick the tax consequences down the road, 14 months, 15 months. So there's kind of some shenanigans around year end, tax loss harvesting as well. Just a lot of games, a lot of kind of atypical price action. But yeah, I am starting to see some actual hope for the bulls that I hadn't really seen as of recent. So, my best high time frame Ethereum system has been risk off since September 6th, 107 days ago. And this weekend, I'm hanging out with my kid, put him down for a nap, opened the computer, and could not believe my eyes. I said, "What? This must be a glitch. There's no way I got a bullish signal. My systems are risk off right now." I double checked. I triple checked. I even quadruple checked. It was a legitimate signal. Risk off since September 6th, suddenly back to risk on. So I started to say to myself, maybe we're getting close to a bottom here. Maybe I was a big stupid bear for just a second too long. So either way, strong convictions held loosely remain for me. I really am of the opinion for the next week that it's Christmas. We're not going to see any moves with conviction until after the new year. I think even if we were to squeeze up or drop down, don't put too much weight into it. I think you should expect to get scammed over the next week. But yeah, I am kind of turning back from big dumb bear to cautiously optimistic because some of my systems are, Ethereum is fully risk on right now. Doesn't mean the bottom needs to be in, but it means that something is different than the past 106 days and we're turning up. Bitcoin is back to neutral. Sol is trying to turn risk on. So I am back to, I'm not bearish anymore. I'm kind of neutral until probably at least the first, and then we'll see what kind of data we get. But yeah, things are changing for me a little bit here because my systems, which quite frankly are better traders than me, much, much better. They don't have emotions. They don't have biases. They just operate off of numbers and conditions. So they really determine my bias. So regardless of how crappy I think a structure might look or how similar it may look to, 2022 or, 2019 or, whatever fractal we want to pull, I have emotions, I have biases, I have wishes, I have wants. The robots do not. So
you have quants?
Yeah, me?
You said,
yeah, all I want is for crypto to not be a piece of shit, but apparently that's too much to ask. So I do have wants, and then you become bearish and pessimistic and you're like, well, I wanted it and it isn't happening. Send it to zero, and then I want that. So, all I wanted was $100 million and to retire before 30. Is that too much to ask? Apparently it's too much to ask. I didn't think it was asking too much, but fuck me, I guess, Guess I gotta work, it's bullshit.
Life has dreams. Each is wonderful.
Dude, what's fucked up? The most fucked up part. Silver's up like 160% this year. Gold's up like 80%. Nasdaq's up like 30. S&P's up 25. Russell's up 15. Bitcoin's red. Altcoin's down like 50%. It's like, dude, what is going on? We are just cooked, Not how it's supposed to be. I don't know.
We did get a super chat here.
Okay.
Sorry.
I would wait until after the first of the year, no matter what. I wouldn't do shit before the first of the year, regardless of what happens. I'd be shocked if we got some like squeeze that manages to stick the landing on the last, 8 or 9 days of the year. But my system for ETH has just turned bullish for the first time since September 6th. It's been over 3 months of being super bearish. If that happens, you'll probably see Pepe squeeze like at least 2x from these levels. And that's not, that's not some like prophecy. It's not some like crazy forecast. It's really more a result of like if ETH bounces like 20 or 30% from here, Pepe's probably going to double. So yeah, I think genuinely one of the best things you can do coming into year end, first of all, depending on where you're located, you're down 80% on a shitcoin bag, sell that, harvest the loss, and then purchase and double, then go back and double the size of your bag. Talk about kind of like playing the system to your advantage, lock in that giant loss, then double your bag up. Hopefully you get a 2x. Then it's like you're not going to have to pay any profits because you just locked in a major loss, right? You're not going to pay any taxes because you locked in all these huge losses. So first and foremost, depending on where you're located, harvest that shit. Absolutely. If you're in a region that allows for it, tax loss, harvest it. In the US, I'm pretty sure you can still, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a CPA, check with your CPA. Pretty sure you can full stack JEET, lock in the loss, and then immediately buy it back. I'm pretty sure there's no 30-day window like there is with stocks for crypto. Tax loss, harvest, then double the bag, play the bounce, sell it, boom, boom, boom. But check in with your CPA first, because I don't know what state you live in. I don't know what country you live in. But yeah, if you can, try to lock in some losses, and then we'll see if there's
just don't pay taxes at all, as Will says.
What'd you say, Chef? Sorry.
Or just don't pay taxes at all, as Will says.
Cannot recommend that. I would definitely recommend. I would definitely recommend paying it.
No, Will says he waits for the IRS to come to him. He doesn't go to the IRS.
He's like, check
that's a bad strategy, man. The best thing you can do is pay taxes to the Epstein list. Like they need their money, for islands and things like that. So, be a law-abiding citizen and pay all the Epstein listers, and they earned it. They're great. They know what's best for all of us. So, just pay them on time. There you go.
Yeah, I like that that thought process. I would say just be aware of this wick, right? A lot of altcoins from these 10-10 wicks here, it looks like a lot of them are coming to fill these wicks, which right now for Pepe, that's 28-30% off, from filling that wick. Your statistical probability of backfilling a majority of these big wicks is pretty high, right? Not all the time. Sometimes 50 to 75% of these wicks getting filled is enough before reversing, right? So it's not a guarantee. Nothing is in these markets, but there's a high probability that a lot of these wicks on altcoins are going to get filled. And if and when they do, I think that's a great time to start looking to buy, or as they're getting close, right? So believe it or not, this wick actually does have confluence kind of with the weekly chart, on the ICO of Pepe, which is interesting, kind of wick down right to the candle bodies of the weekly candles when Pepe kind of ICO'd and launched. So that's interesting. So I would say there's confluence in this area down here around this wick low, or if you got to get a reclaim, right? Because we obviously lost key market structure here. We're sliding, we're breaking down. If somehow they do miraculously kind of save this market, which is always on the table as well, adding on confirmation of a reclaim of lost lows, this is your deviation. This is a high conviction buy too, right? So you're not really buying a falling knife. You're either going to buy on, okay, we've kind of fully backfilled a level that you had marked. You start DCAing at that, or you buy on a confirmation of a reclaim of lost market structure, right? So those are two higher conviction plays to be made here. It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, look at the Pepe chart, right? You're in the middle of both of those areas, right? Where you're kind of halfway down from losing market structure. You're also halfway down from backfilling a key inefficiency. You're in the middle here, right? Doing business in the middle, not the best idea, right? Not the best idea, or at least, your probabilities of success rate are extremely lower, right? So either waiting for a reclaim, waiting for a full backfill, those are your higher probability plays. In the middle, unless you're DCAing, right? If you want to start DCAing here all the way down, I'll never, say no to that, right? Just DCAing as you're getting close to a target. It's an area. It's not exact. I don't hate it, but, going back to what I was saying earlier, we're in the middle, right? Of whether the market's going to get saved and we're going to go back up, or if we're going to finish, just kind of move to the downside. Doing business in the middle, it's a lot more difficult. So just wanted to point that out as far as like a weekly charting perspective.
Thou
Very
shalt
nice,
not
Louis.
diddle.
I think I'm personally not buying anything until I feel confident in Bitcoin and ETH bottom, and like lower time frame doesn't interest me as much. And we are still debating whether crypto is front running equities or not. As you guys said, one of these will have to give. And whenever I see strengths from equities, I don't see strengths from crypto. So that's telling me that crypto is really just waiting for equities. I think SPX would have to trade significantly higher above all-time highs in order for BTC to barely maybe trade to 96.
Young Maximus. I don't know who that is. So I don't hold any Pepe right now, and I haven't in a couple months. But yeah, I think the play is still for sure there. I think obviously it hinges on ETH, as it always has, right? Pepe was always a on-chain levered bet on ETH, as we've talked about quite a bit, and obviously the ETH play has not panned out for 5 years now, which is a bummer. So like all the ETH beta we've talked about is all kind of hinged on ETH, right? So we need ETH to perform, but I think potentially a bullish 2026, or at least Q1 based on my systems right now, are potentially presenting themselves. If ETH bounces hard, you're going to see Pepe bounce really hard and have a lot of kind of wind pushed back into its sail. So yeah, I mean, am I bullish right now? I'm kind of neutral. I'm just like waiting to see what majors do. Like, do I think that Pepe can bounce really hard from here? Absolutely, like without question. It's just look at the ETH chart. Like, there's been really nothing to, there's just been nothing to look how many like major 50-60% corrections we've had on this chart. You know, I mean, it's been in a horrific range for, 5 years. No, I still own all my Andy and Wolf. I addressed the Pepe thing, like over 2 months ago when I did sell it. I had to sell a lot of it to pay taxes, because the deadline, the extension deadline was in October for those in the US. So I had to pay some taxes because I had a profitable year before that. So I sold Pepe, and then I sold more than I needed to because I was like, yeah, this market's gonna correct a little bit. Okay.
But hey, Alex, you sold the literal lows with 100x leverage. I know it. We are just making up stuff, right? So he sold the lows with 100x leverage.
Yeah.
And you also bought the top literally with your mom's savings. So now you're underwater. I know it.
That
Sucks for you, Alex.
I know who's always down bad and like doesn't know what the fuck they're doing because they're just angry, like the angry guy. The angry guy archetype is like, never learns how to trade, goes all in shit coins, but doesn't take responsibility for own actions. Shows up angry. That's him, You never said you full stack cheated. I mean, I addressed it when people started calling me, names online because I sold an asset that I own. That's none of anybody else's business, Like, I don't know. I didn't have to. I don't have to tell you.
Do you know what they would expect, Max? Is that you run a promo video every single day saying that you full stack cheated, I suppose. Because you said it many times.
I did. I don't know. That's the problem is like you say something or address it. You didn't say it. I'm like, well, I didn't have your phone number to personally text you to like tell you what I was doing with my money,
That's what people expect. It's like they just make up stuff.
No, it's just so funny. It's just like if you didn't sell, you're like, ha, idiot. This guy's round tripping all his bags to zero. What an idiot, horrible trader. Who would listen to that guy? Oh, he sold? What a dickhead. He didn't tell anybody he sold. Like it's just damned if you do, damned if you don't. For the free analysis.
Bro, you expected me to be honest. I've been nothing but honest, man, to a fault that's cost me millions. You know how many millions of dollars I decided to literally just give back because I wanted to be like a good guy and not get people wrecked more than they were going to? Like,
how far did they get you?
Dude.
They are praising now the scammers.
Dude, and then I I sell a bag. I had no price impact on my Pepe bag, and I sell my Pepe bag, like so much higher than where we're at right now, partially because I had to pay some taxes and like addressed it, and it's like, we expected you to be honest. It's like, I expected you to have an IQ over 60, but apparently that's too much to ask.
But he said it.
Max, guy who has your wallet on notifications would like you to know he's upset you didn't say when you're selling.
But Max is literally saying this in October about Pepe. I remember it live here on the show. I have no idea what the people are talking about.
Dude, I don't get I don't understand if people just like didn't tune in and or don't follow them. I don't know. If you're mad, be mad. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. That's what it is.
I don't know what to tell you.
Why are you as a man watching another man's wallet?
A wallet watchers. It's you versus the market in this game. You'll learn it eventually, or you'll give up and quit before you find that out. It's one or the other. Like, to think that none of us up here were young or inexperienced, and we're trying to figure it out and got burned because we couldn't keep up to everything and every day, and then had to figure it out and say, okay, investing is, I got to figure it out for myself eventually, or actually pay for a paid subscription that gives that advice day in and day out. You know, it's one or the other. And people want the fast, easy road, and it's just not there. This is a game where it's you versus the market. You either got to figure it out yourself or actually pay a premium for a service that actually hands that to you in a way. But if you're trying to play the market, either with not putting in the work or just trying to take free advice out there solely off that, it's a recipe to get burned. It is. I've done it myself. I've lost money. I've lost money giving out advice too, because I too felt bad selling my bags because I didn't want people to get hurt, you know? So it is what it is. But
it is what it is.
Big
There he
country.
What's up, boys?
We got
Louis.
some comment section warriors today.
Oh, what's
Tucker.
up, Tuck?
What's up?
Do it.
Yeah, got some comment section warriors, man. The men who sit when they pee down, you know, just some keyboard warriors, man.
It's fine. It's Christmas time.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, you know. Speaking of, that chart looks like a couple Christmas tree patterns to me. What are we looking at there, Louis?
this is Ave. How do we
It's
feel
a-
about Ave?
That looks worse than I would have
I'm glad I
expected.
pulled this up.
Yeah, this is interesting. One, I gave this short in the Discord. Great play, even though I didn't even get to execute it properly myself. Hopefully someone did. But I think it's interesting that Ave, which has been holding up nicely, is finally puking a little bit. Again, like I mentioned earlier, possibly coming for the lower area of this wick from 1010. Do we think this is significant for the broader market, or specifically ETH?
No, I think it's this one is truly specific to AVE or Aave. Because of the current tensions between the founder and the DAO. That's and I think, you know, its resolution will actually be very important for the entire space. So it's definitely one to keep eyes on. Could be relevant to ETH because ETH is still the, you know, biggest stuff basically on ETH anyway. But I don't think this necessarily like impacts directly the ETH price here. This drop is, but again, ETH was staying strong before, while ETH already sort of touched close to the lows. So like if you would compare it TA wise, you know, ETH and ETH here, then ETH is sort of like, you know, coming to the place where ETH bounced. But yeah, this drop is really fundamentally driven right now.
Yeah.
The voting on the, you know, on chain is going to happen tomorrow, and it's definitely one to observe. Jakis, can you tell us if we are going to the moon? We are. We are going to the moon. Do you know how the moon looks?
Can anybody really go to the moon though?
No.
Here we
Can
go.
anybody truly go to the moon? And
do you
maybe
mean?
we'll take it one step back. Has anybody ever truly gone to the moon?
Yeah, 1969.
Oh.
50, 60 years ago we went. Then, you know?
Yeah, we brought a golf cart there, remember? Yeah. You saw the video of the golf cart?
Yeah.
They were driving it around on the moon, remember?
Well, in the next
then
100
they
years, they
made a
will bring
phone
an
call.
NFT there.
They made a phone call to the president from the moon. Remember, he was on a landline and they called him? You remember that?
Oh, I remember.
All the videos there, obviously, you know.
So Ave's coming home then. Back to the bear market base or even lows.
I think around 115 will be a crucial area, or like 125 to 115.
Yeah.
You want to observe. I generally think if Aave doesn't hold, I think you are looking at ETH at 3 digits.
I would agree, Jackus. If like, because that's your bear market base, right? So this was this was 2021 bull run. This is your 2021 bear market. This, or 2022. I'm sorry. This is your base you put in from between 2022 and 2024. You know, if you do come into that 120, 115 level, and you're losing this, you're re-entering your bear market reaccumulation. And you're re-entering a bear market. That would not be good. And I think Aave or Aave does have significance as far as ETH and the health of that market and DeFi, right? So I would say I would agree, right? Like if you do come down here, this is where you want to see hold, kind of where we bounced off in the middle of this year. I would agree. You do not really want to see Aave or Aave trading below, back into this base. So maybe they could wick it and fill this wick fully. Or maybe they just fill it 75% of the way, down into here. This level remains to hold, and we reverse. But you start trading below $110, $100 on Aave. That is not a good sign for the overall health of the DeFi market, which is pretty much the base of the altcoin market, right? It's ETH. So I would say look out for that.
How does the Aave ETH pair look? Is there any alpha of that?
Let's go to the weekly.
Oh,
Ooh. 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 Well,
Yes. Looks like it's coming home.
looks like it's yeah, it's look pretty bad.
a little more backfill.
I think if that's the case, we can generally just leave the space.
Well, what if ETH starts ripping, right? And Aave just kind of lethargically underperforms for a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
But ETH's value is based on its applications. Aave is its biggest application. And if it fails, it sets a precedence for other applications, other DAO applications, which would trend down as well, which bears the question, what value does ETH hold on? Because it's definitely not a store of value. It's not trying to be a digital commodity. It's trying to be the base layer for all the applications of the future. So, yeah.
Get ready to learn BlackRock DeFi.
Yeah.
I don't think you
What
know
do
what
you
a bad day is.
What you mean by that?
Well,
I suppose the only way from here then would be, and I suppose that's the inevitable way anyway, is to make everything centralized, just AI coded. But in that sense, you don't really need any tokens. You would move to stocks and companies, And I'm holding one of that company myself. That one is called Upstart, by the way, and it's sort of like Aave, just with a centralized company. But about 83% of its About
Wait,
83%
This is
of
the
it.
company that guy went on CNBC with, and he's like shilling it, and then they're like, "What does it do?" And he's like, "Oh, I can't hear you. What?" They're like, "What do they do?" And he's like, "I can't hear you," because he didn't know what the fuck they do. But he was shilling them during COVID or whatever, or like right after COVID when it was going crazy.
Yeah.
Remember that video?
About Upstart?
Yeah, you got to watch the video.
Was that
I've never
Upstart?
Pretty sure it was Upstart.
Wasn't it
It was like
Upwork,
the most.
maybe?
It was the most QE and ZERP clip of all time, man.
Yeah.
Fund manager goes on CNBC, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, like Upstart, like it's just going crazy. It's just doing so well. Blah 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 blah." And the host is like, "So what? Like, what is Upstart? What does it even do?" Guy had no clue. Just wanted to dump his bags. Just trying to generate exit liquidity live on CNBC, and then just drop the call.
Was it right at the top?
Pretty sure we could find the clip. It's pretty hilarious.
Timestamp it. So, Jack, as you were saying, this is what does this do now?
It's the
It's a loan
it's
company,
the
personal loans.
Jackus, can you hear us?
sorry,
I
sorry
set
guys.
you up there,
I'm
Jackus.
losing. Sorry, guys, you there? Sorry. No, it's also it's a lending company, but most of its process is driven by AI these days. So it's automated, and its risk parameters are more like it has a better how to say it in English. It can better compare the risk profile of their clients to know to what degree it can give the loans versus not give them, right? So like when banks issues a loan, it's trying to digest if its client is capable of paying it back, right? And so what this does is basically it's automated to a big degree where it's trying to decipher basically the risk profile of the client.
Right. Interesting.
It's doing it better than its competitors, and I think that's sort of the move that lots of companies will be going forward. They will try to automate most of its work and make itself more efficient, right?
Interesting. I don't hate it. The structure is decent too. You just got to flip some levels here. You see a little more extension up here. This will probably flip green. And you could see a nice squeeze. Like this would be low cap season, right? Like we saw the Russell attempt to break out in the price discovery. It's trying, right? The Russell's trying. If you see a sustained breakout above the 2021 highs, you're going to see companies like Upstart start to move, right? I do want to see this wick broken though, because they could easily do this for a little bit and chop everyone up trying to catch the low cap move, right? And then send it later on.
What it does though is that it is more like a platform, right? Rather than a bank itself, where banks issue the capital, then the protocol is trying to decipher if the client is capable, and then it sort of connects them between the two. So again, in a way, it's like when you think of fundamentally, it's a lending protocol too, with again, it's trying to be decentralized in a way, and it's lending out as well based on pretty conservative parameters, as we know. You cannot get too over leveraged like on many other platforms, but there is the difference with that Aave is supposed to be fully decentralized versus like these other solutions have a company behind them.
Can you go back to
But-
the Russell real quick, Louis? Sorry, I want you just had it up for a second. This is making a very, very solid kind of like weekly attempt at a recovery after last week's ugly candle, I will say.
Yes. Yeah. It is. And it's telling you that there is a chance for the riskier assets to have a strong 2026. The question is, does it happen off the rip here and we just continue to melt up, or do equities sell off first and then we see it, right? But it is giving hope, right, for that low cap stocks. Historically, the Russell breaking the price discoveries has been good for crypto. Does it still carry over to now? It's not right now, right? You're not seeing it yet. The last time we saw something like this happen was here. Russell broke into price discovery. Literally that same week, Bitcoin and altcoins really started to ramp up, and it lasted a year, right? Broke out in November of 2020, topped November of 2021. During this entire time period, Bitcoin and altcoins had a monster run in 2021. We're starting to see the same thing now. Problem is everything in crypto is weak, right? But that could mean that we're sitting on value prices, right? So that is a glimmer of hope, right? That is a glimmer of hope. My question is, do they just continue to melt up equities from here, right, after this monster run, or do we let some air out of this first, and then something like that? So that's kind of where I'm on the fence, right? It's like I'm seeing positive things. I have been waiting for the Russell to break out for a long time now. It's finally kind of happening. Do we see it kind of spill over into crypto? That's the golden question.
We lost Max.
I'm glad you brought up the IWM, Louis, because I feel like I see the same thing when I look at crypto, specifically Bitcoin dominance, in the sense that, I'm kind of favoring a move back towards the highs, ultimately towards maybe like 64, 66% over the next few weeks. If we do not get that and we break down kind of below that 57, 58% level, then, I feel like the bottom is likely in from a USD standpoint. But I do think a push higher on Bitcoin would, or rather a push higher on Bitcoin dominance probably translates to market downside in crypto.
Yeah.
Whereas given how far altcoins have fallen from their highs on a relative basis, if USD prices are pumping, that can only imply that Bitcoin dominance is going lower. So I'm kind of using that as signal at this point, right? Bitcoin dominance down, altcoins up, market bottom probably in, because I'm just give it, if we see a extended shoulder here, I don't really believe that. I know we're kind of like asking, all right, which one's going to catch up to which, or is crypto leading equity market downside? But I can't remember a divergence between equities and crypto that lasted this long before one caught up to the other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The lag is really long, but I was just checking it today, and you can still clearly see that they are very correlated. The current bottom on SPX that you saw in November, late stage of November, that was an identical bottom on BTC. But the problem is that any upside on SPX isn't really followed by Bitcoin, which, again, it shows to me that I would tend to think that Bitcoin is front-running equities, but at minimum, it's not following it. And it would, in my opinion, just to stay stable, or to really start going back up for BTC, it would require SPX to start mourning right now.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I just got rugged so hard from the stream, man. That was bad.
Yeah, we noticed.
Terrible.
He's gone. Lost him.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing in ETH BTC too, similar to the Russell, right? Where Bitcoin, altcoins have been getting crushed. Normally in that environment, we see Bitcoin dominance going up, ETH Bitcoin dropping. I mean, we were seeing a slight sell-off in ETH BTC here, but ETH BTC is trying to recapture a multi-year macro range here, right? Whether we see one more move to the downside or not, kind of similar to what we saw here. ETH BTC looks like it wants to reclaim this range. If it does, and ETH BTC and Bitcoin dominance falls, ETH and altcoins still have a shot, right? This would be pretty much, or at least the right altcoins, right? This would be very symbolic of ETH taking dominance from Bitcoin, and ipso facto, that would mean altcoins, or at least some altcoins, are the right altcoins. So the Russell breaking out into price discovery, if it officially does that. Bitcoin dominance maybe moving a little higher, then dropping. ETH Bitcoin maybe a little more volatility, but eventually recapturing this range. Tells me, yeah, maybe we have a little more downside to go, as we've been discussing, but coming out of that, there's still a shot. There's still a chance in a way.
So you are telling me there is a chance.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, I
So
think
you're
I think
saying there's a
ETH
chance.
I think ETH BTC is rolling over from the current prices to
You think
sub
so?
at least 0.03 at minimum, but likely deeper.
Yeah. I mean, look what we did back here too. We kind of ping ponged and then got into the range and went. I could see that happening. That or this is dead.
Louis, throw a volume profile on that baby.
You're gonna make me do this shit.
Lifetime. Yeah, that one.
Lifetime.
Yeah, lifetime. What do you want? Binance? Okay, good. No. Keep going. There.
Like this.
Yeah.
We're there.
We're there. Like, we need to be there. Like,
We need to hold.
Yeah.
We got to hold this level.
Or it slides out.
Yes.
Yeah. Some people use these. Some people use the market structure, but it's all the same.
So lose this level and it's lights out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed. Yeah.
Noted. So we will see.
So are we bullish for the next 10 days? Are we bearish?
Neither.
Neither.
I'm still bearish personally, but if we flip the early December highs on majors, I'm going to get really bullish, man.
I will too. I would definitely be punting altcoin longs if you see what price is that, like 93, 94K, Tommy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see Bitcoin sustaining price above 93, 94. I'm punting altcoin longs. But before then, you're just at risk of getting caught in a continued downside move, So that's kind of where gut says this is not enough to bottom here. We need to probably come a little lower. That's based off the thinking that the S&P and equities will catch up to this move to the downside. But if that doesn't happen, which Bitcoin can do whatever it wants, you start to see Bitcoin pushing back above 93, 94K. Yep, we're going to definitely get some sort of sustained route, more than what we've seen already. But in the middle, you get diddled. I'm not trying to get diddled.
I think the RR to position long is much better with the equities if you do want to do that, right? More so because I think the risk to being wrong if you position long on the coins is still pretty substantial. I know it feels like we're already down quite a bit, but I don't know. I think, if I'm viewing this as a shoulder pre-capitulation across the majors, the thought of holding long exposure into that is kind of daunting. Whereas with equities, I can have a fixed cost to be long through options in a much stronger market.
I mean, We're still bearishly underside retesting lost market structure. That's all we've been doing for the
All
last month.
volume is fake, says Mike or Sailor. There are exchanges showing 20 billion index volume.
For what asset? Just total?
Don't know. Just saying.
Something Aster would do.
But hey, there is still SUI with 15 billion FDV, and some people think the market's bottomed.
Honestly, Bitcoin looks right now like what Aave did just before it started nuking. Let's pull up Aave here on the right. I'll probably have to do the daily.
As somebody who enjoys specializing on hating one coin at a time, I have to admire Jackass's disdain for SUI.
Possibly one of the worst structures out there.
Oh, without question.
So much, such a big FDV.
Like, I feel like we're here.
I agree, Louis.
Yeah, we're still underside retesting. It's bear flag. We failed on the underside retest of market structure. This is where people get trapped on this little like, oh, we're gonna go, oh fuck, you know.
The only thing that leaves me a little concerned about Bitcoin is just how it doesn't look like a typical bottom.
Yeah.
Right?
Go
Like,
look, Louis. Pull up Bitcoin, make it big. Okay.
Make it big.
All right. Now
Pause.
one on the left. It's exactly the opposite of what we're doing right now. It's the
Yes.
exact inverse.
The
they're
lows.
driving it lower to the and this time we're driving. But I will say this though. I was looking at this weekend. Now, could you pull up ETH, Louis?
Yes.
Because ETH is actually known for not taking out the lows and putting in like a random bottom. Like so many of ETH's bottoms. Scroll back in time a little bit. Like look at that range from August right there. Like look at it left every single one of those lows for ETH.
Yeah.
And then go back into the bear market. It was nothing but leaving behind lows in the bear market. Like look at the very bottom to the left. Consistently leaves behind all of the lows, you know.
Yeah.
Like so ETH actually
does like to
likes
do
to
that.
do this. Bitcoin doesn't typically. Like but I think it's fair to point out like ETH really loves to just leave the lows. Like it really, really does. Bitcoin not as much.
I think that's a fair point. At the same time, you have just reclaimed back within the macro range.
Yeah. I agree with that.
This is the most schizo chart ever, man. Look at
What
ETH.
is
What a
like, what
piece
is
of shit.
this? Like, what is this?
Man, I found the funniest fractal on ETH this morning. I'm not going to say where I pulled it from, but I sent it to Tucker and Max.
He's a fractal chud.
Vague posting, sorry.
It was the most random but potentially accurate fractal I've ever seen. Super random.
So he's just taking a moment to appreciate this chart or disappreciate.
That's awful, man. And how about the most recent sell-off? All while Tom Lee was shoving like billions of dollars into ETH. It still looks like this.
I
Pretty
read
sure we-
BMNR is insolvent below 2K. Is that accurate?
No way. No way.
That would just be insane risk management.
Look,
I really do think that Tom Lee is going to get away with it. I do. But he's going to look like a clown for like a quarter and a half or two. But then he will end up having the last laugh, I think.
I'd probably agree with that.
I mean, it's not a bad bet from his side. Like, I think it's a good bet. But can go wrong too.
ETHZilla sold ETH. That's Peter Thiel's company, right?
What is?
ETHZilla.
I think so.
What a funny name.
Yeah.
Man, it was so fun when ETH ripped from 1,400 to almost 5K. It was so fun.
I really
Just
thought
for
my
it to
shit coin was
unwind
gonna pop.
50%. All while stocks are at all-time highs. Commodities ripping. What the fuck, man?
I really thought we were all going to make it.
You know what would be the most crypto thing ever? Is for us to recover from these levels, truly. I don't have any firm opinion on it right now. Like I said, my ETH system is turning bullish, right? Talked about that in the beginning of the show. Made a post about it this weekend. But I just can't help but look at stocks and silver and gold and say, and I look at all the pairs, right? I the whole list of pairs. ETH SPX, ETH gold, ETH silver, ETH everything, Bitcoin gold, Bitcoin silver, Bitcoin SPX, Bitcoin NASDAQ, Bitcoin Russell, all of them. They all look like they're super undervalued here if risk in general continues to perform well in 2026. Like, this is your discount territory in theory if stocks keep moving higher, which is the big question.
Yeah.
And I guess commodities, we'll see how 2026 goes for them. But stocks do look much better here than they did a week and a half ago, I will say. It would be so incredible to see the death of the 4-year cycle confirmed in Q1, where like crypto rallies hard and like Bitcoin makes a new high or something crazy. Because then it really opens the discussion towards like, okay, the 4-year cycle is dead. What are we expecting from here? Which is a new discussion that we haven't been able to have in over a decade for crypto. And I think we've kind of become handcuffed and chained to this idea of a 4-year cycle, which is a bit unfortunate. But I think like I think back from Bitcoin structure specifically in like, can you pull up Bitcoin, Louis? So like Bitcoin structure in it was after the first top last cycle. So scroll back to last cycle and look at the first top from 64K down to 28. You can't orchestrate a shittier looking chart than like July of 2021. Like that is the worst looking high time frame chart of all time. Like that right there, before we ran back up, was the most diabolical looking high time frame chart ever. Looked so bad. It was clear distribution into a 40% drop into a limp meat pattern. Like looked so bad with the COVID overhang still very much so prevalent, and then it just turned around literally like out of nowhere. Not even really any support below us. Like the previous cycle all-time high was at 19.7.
Yeah.
And this thing looked so bad and it just turned around. It is kind of a crypto thing to literally just paint the ugliest high time frame structure and everybody's like, it's over, and then it just turns around, right?
I would argue.
I look at ETH in a similar way, and I'm kind of like, ETH looks fucking cooked. Like ETH looks like structurally just so difficult to read, not look good. It's down 60% there. I mean, terrible, right? And then it just turns around. I'm not convicted in that yet, but I know from being here long enough that whenever you are just like convinced that crypto is fried and like wants to go lower, it has a way of just proving the bears wrong, you know, and I've been on the opposing side of that before, you know, where you're just like, how is this structure, like how are we going to turn around from here? It looks so unresolved, it doesn't make sense, and then it just does.
Yeah, the secret ingredient is crime.
Yes.
But I would
By the way,
argue
there's some
that
equity guys that I talk to, like IRL friends that manage like large, you know, like equity books. They're all positioning in like early cycle names right now. Like it's kind of consensus that like rate cuts, QE, like we're early cycle, not late cycle. That's how they're positioning right now. Guys that I definitely trust their opinions. So all I'm saying is like my systems are starting to slowly shift. That doesn't mean the bottom is in. They're high time frame systems. But to my surprise, they're not looking as bearish as they were last week. I don't expect much resolution before the new year. Why would there be? We have 9 days left, 8 days left. But all I know is that crypto has a way of turning around from the most literal, like nonsensical doomer levels and just ripping. Whether it's a scam, whether it's all perps driven, it doesn't really matter. That second top for Bitcoin in 2021 was driven almost exclusively by perps. There was not a spot bid on that whole move up from 28 to 70K. There was not. It was like 95% leverage driven. Spot was selling and distributing the entire move up. It was all perps.
It's basically
So-
just a manipulated short squeeze by FTX.
It was a shoulder that manipulated and overextended way higher than people thought.
This probably should have stopped here, right?
Arguably,
To-
it should have, right? But there was so much crime that our complacency shoulder actually ended up overshooting the previous all-time high. And that's crypto, right? You find the most egregious bearish structure, you trap everybody and bait everybody. Classical TA, like 9 times out of 10, that should break down. And then they just crime you, you know? So you also
Man, I
kind of have to
remember.
think of it in like a game theory way with crypto where you're like, where's the greatest scam? Like, what is the greatest scam from here? You know, and that's actually not a bad thought process with trying to evaluate high time frame crypto charts is like, how can they wreck the most amount of people?
It's kind of wild, man. Most people that are here now weren't even around for that September 7th nuke in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
And it
shit hurt
shows.
me.
It should.
I had a small bankroll at the time. I got destroyed.
But see, that's
I
the
mean, you could
best thing
see
for you is
good.
to literally go through, like, there's no supplementation of like going through these events time and time again. That I
Yeah.
promise you.
that's what I was saying earlier, Max. It's like everyone's pissed and upset. It's like, yeah, well, guess what? We were everyone up on this panel. Some were, newer than others. Like this was my first bull run, 2021, right? I accumulated throughout 2028. Let me pull up Bitcoin here. Accumulated throughout 2018, 2019, 2020. Started making my first real chunk of change as a young gentleman coming out of college on this rally. My portfolio got cut in half on this move.
That's it.
It got absolutely decimated.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Let me
The
tell you. Let me tell
May
you.
move?
Let me tell you. Sorry, go ahead, guys.
Was it the May
Yeah.
move that took out half your port?
This drop on Bitcoin.
Yeah, in May.
Is that actually not that bad? Based on what
maybe a
happened
little
to
more
the
than
rest of
half,
the
but yeah, it was about half. I was holding mostly high caps at the moment. I was like holding like XRP, Link, ADA, little E, mostly ETH and Bitcoin as well. So
That was the most
But then-
soul-crushing move I can remember, honestly.
yeah, I lost half my money.
I mean, let me tell you something. Like, you got wrecked on like shit coins. Oh, like feel so bad for you, dude. Congrats. Literally everybody has gotten wrecked on shit coins. Every single person that has ever been in crypto has gotten clobbered on shit coins and Bitcoin and everything. Every single one of them. Like, you're not special.
Wait, who are
That
you-
is what happens in crypto. Like, everybody gets destroyed in crypto multiple times. And
Louis.
then you
He's not
figure out a way to make it back.
What's that?
I don't think he's talking. Who are you talking to, Max?
I'm talking to everybody in general, not Louis. Like,
Yeah, he's talking to the
Louis
audience.
knows that. I'm saying more like the people that weren't around last cycle that are like, salty and upset. Dude, I got wrecked. I should have sold. It's like, dude, welcome to the fucking club. Like, every single person on this panel, every person on any panel, every person on CT that's doing well now or looks like they're doing, everybody, man. Like,
Yep.
that's what happens. It's crypto, man.
Yeah.
Wah, I got wrecked. Dude, so did everybody else. Like, what?
Yeah.
Figure it out. Like, figure out how to make it back. Learn how to trade. Find another play. Oh, well, I got wrecked. I should have sold. Yeah, dude. Like, everybody should have multiple times. Like, every single person. Like, what are you crying about?
Yeah, you know what I did during this, all this? What do you think? I was in the kitchen.
Yeah, no,
was-
guys, I
I
was
was-
not talking to Louis. Like, I was
Yeah,
not
no,
talking to Louis.
I knew that. I didn't think you were talking to
Don't,
me either.
don't
I
go
know you were
starting
talking
drama, guys. I was not talking
Yeah.
to Louis.
They're
I
trying
had
to
to-
pin us against each other.
I had to clarify it because it sounded a little bit like you were talking to Louis.
Oh
No, I
no,
was
I didn't.
not talking to
think so
Louis.
at all. No, I didn't think so. We're good.
Dude, we've had this discussion before. Like, the best thing that can happen to you in crypto is you get fucking wrecked and then you figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
that's when you develop systems and strategies and you learn how to trade and like,
Now I'm pissed.
all right,
No.
now Louis and I are in a fight, guys. Way to
Yeah.
go. Now we're beefing.
I gotta go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I got wrecked on shit coins. Okay, well, you must be the only one. It's terrible. Everyone else sold the top. You're the only one that didn't sell.
The amount of money I had here versus here, a lot less. But the difference is during this, I was hitting the books. I was buying courses. I was getting better. I wasn't going on YouTube and in the comments, oh, I can't believe you did these to me. I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have been dependent on anyone. I should have figured it out my own. And that's what I did. I
That's when I learned how to trade. Was
Yeah.
after the May wipeout.
Wait, Tommy and Louis, you didn't go and blame other people for your shit coins going down? What? Dude, you guys should try it sometime. It's great. Wah. Crypto nuked. Wah. I should have sold. Wah. Dude, figure it out. Figure it out. Get in the order books.
Hit the oil rig.
Well, yeah, that's the evolution of a crypto trader, right? The life cycle. According to Max, I haven't learned that yet, so it's cool. But
Yeah, Louis and I are fighting now, guys. This is getting awkward. Just wait till the stream ends. Louis and I are just going to be at each other's throats. It's going to be bad. Because I took a personal shot at Louis. That's what that was. You guys were right. It was just, I meant to disrespect him. So,
About to see the story on the front page of crypto tabloids.
what do we think here locally, guys? Was this a sweep and Jeet?
I don't think there's any alpha to be had until at least the new year, man. It's like we could even squeeze up to 92 or something. It wouldn't mean anything. I think you just need to get into the new year.
You got a juicy FEG up here at 92. You're right, Max.
Yeah, the Jackus knows this, but the I think it's the interbanking algorithm is what it's called. Are they running the What is the acronym, Jackus? The secret interbanking algorithm?
Interbank price delivery algorithm, but be careful because the FBI agents are watching.
The interbank price delivery algorithm. They're running it right now. Feel like Louis turns full Italian when he's mad. Yeah, man, he does takes the garbage out, taking out the trash.
Never go against the family.
You talking to me? Are you talking to me? You want meet my
How-
Uncle Vinny? Yeah,
How am I funny?
keep talking. Are you laughing at me?
Yeah, I go full Joe Pesci.
You ever seen the movie Casino? It's like that's basically Louis.
Yeah.
But shitcoin edition, you know.
Who's running a
Yeah.
on the day of my daughter's wedding?
Come here, I just want to talk to you.
Is someone have like a fish tank or like a humidifier running near them or something?
I have
I
a
think I hear it.
I have a cat water thing running. Yes.
Some hydrated felines.
A cat water fountain?
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Cats get dehydrated quite often, by the way.
Do they?
Yes. You got to always make sure to refill that water bowl. Life advice with Tommy.
I better get supply.
Stay tuned for the CA. Wow.
The CA.
All right.
Is it-
I was gonna say, I think this is where we wrap up the show.
Probably a good spot.
Louis and I have some beef to squash, so
put the
Thank you
gloves on.
guys for tuning in to today's episode of Market Check with lots of useful price debates and potentially some personal debates after the show is over. But if you like today's content, guys, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We run these shows Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open, with a typical start time around roughly 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, given that we do have the holiday season this week, we will be doing
bro, what
no
was
way.
that?
How did that happen
What
so quickly?
Who did that quickly?
Z. Oh my god.
Is
He
he in
is a
here?
wizard.
No.
What a beast.
That's so
It's
funny.
See,
amazing.
the only problem with that is I would have
Was he?
knocked Louis out in that video. So I would have caught him with a kick, man.
Oh god.
Sorry for ragging you, Tommy, from the outro, but I had to squeeze that in.
No, it's
No.
all good. I guess this is
Perfect.
our only show of the week because we're on break or on holidays. Holiday if you're European. For the rest of the week. So we'll be back next week with more market check coverage. Hopefully we have a little bit more volatility to discuss. We'll see how everything kind of shapes up, but also make sure to tune in for Market Talk hosted by the legendary King Wabi over the next 2 days, guys. That is an X Spaces hosted through our Because Bitcoin account, as well as King Wabi's personal account. So make sure to stay following and subscribe so you can be notified when we go live on those shows, as well as when we schedule them, right? But our typical start time for Market Talk is roughly 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that's it from us, guys. We hope you enjoyed the show. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we'll see y'all again next week. Thanks, guys.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal.